and a half ago, Yolanda found Optavia and became a client. And a short month later, she became a coach, and I was her first client. So, so with that, about 7 months later, I decided to join her as a coach, and we've been team coaching ever since. And so,
yeah, we just want to say good morning to everybody, and thank you all for being here. And we'd like to welcome especially our amazing coaches who are all clients. We're all clients first, and we remain clients forever. And but especially also like to welcome our brand new clients who are here for the first time. So throw in a chat. That helped a little bit of housekeeping on the very bottom. There's reaction mode. You can raise your hand there. You click on that. And there's a chat button where you can click on and leave a little note. So anyone who's brand new, go ahead and put in the chat. And we'd like to welcome you all, brand new clients. So yeah, thank you for being here. We want to just open up with.
Sorry, yep. So today we're going to be talking out of Dr. A's Habits of Health book in section 2.15. The best you can be optimizing your life at any age.
And I think as we start that, we like to just acknowledge the gratitude for the program that we have, and gratitude for us beginning this health journey that we had. And so yeah, it's important to see that and to know that.
Okay, so we're going to start right off on page 440 with what Dr. Anderson says right there. I'm going to read it to you. As you continue on your journey to optimal health and well-being, there are a few more tools in our arsenal that can help optimize your current state and help keep you in the best possible condition at any age. They could even extend your life.
So Dr. Anderson clearly says right at the very beginning that that graph there is kind of hard to follow for some people. I'm not a graph person, so. But I had to, in learning that, I understood that what that meant was those of us who, have just lived in an obesogenic world. I was obese. I was very unhealthy. I was in a very sick state of life. And those of us who are in that spot before we begin our health journey, we tend to be very passive about it. We're not paying attention. We're on medications. We think the medications are going to help us. They're going to cure us. Like, we just have that mindset and continue on with our yucky habits that we have. And instead, Dr. Anderson says that those people who are very passive about that idea, we very quickly become in a state of non-sickness where we're faking ourselves that we're not sick, right? Because we're taking medications. We are overweight. We have a poor diet. We're in a state of sarcopenia. Let me tell you what that is. It's very ugly. Flabby, weak, muscles, insomnia, overstressed, a higher state of inflammation, which decays to disease over time. It causes us to never really regain our health until we take a hold of it and we want that change. I had to want it. I had to want it. So
tell them about your story.
So when I first started, I said I was very unhealthy. I'll be very quick. And I was obese. I released close to 50 pounds now. I was on a heart medication. I had a heart ablation. I was throwing supraventricular tachycardia, which in a sense didn't have anything to do with my health. It was a genetic thing, just something that happened. However, after that, I still didn't improve my own health. I was throwing PVCs, which is an abnormal heartbeat. I was on medication for that. I was on 3 blood pressure medications. I had extremely high blood pressure. Over time, that damaged my liver, which I already had a genetic fatty liver through our family. Okay, so that wasn't helping any. The medication was not helping any. To this day, to just quickly say, I'm off of all medications. I no longer have the heart monitor implant. I'm the healthiest I've ever been, and I'm searching for ultra health. So for me, this is a passion, the mission that Dr. Anderson developed for us. I had to choose that, but I pushed myself to that with the guidance of my coach, the guidance of this community, the guidance of reading his books. Dr. Anderson's the specialist. He's the professional here. Disclaimer, first of all, to protect our company and ourselves and our coaches.
And the mission.
And the mission, most importantly, transforming our life one healthy habit at a time. We do not claim that Optavia says you're going to be healed, okay? It's your choice. You have to go out and search and find out what is your problem and get with the reality of changing your life to a healthier journey. And we have the tools here.
And we went ahead and put the disclaimers in the chat as well.
So now that I'm healthy, we want to share that with others. We want everyone to understand that nutrition is important. That is one of the components of our program. And so nutrition is huge. And Dr. Anderson states that here. So
yeah, just to reiterate what Dr. Anderson says, or what's written here on 441 in the right-hand margin, for the first time in history, 55% of all insured Americans are taking prescription medications regularly for chronic health problems, such as high blood pressure and cholesterol problems, often linked to heart disease, obesity, and diabetes.
So right now, throw in the chat, maybe coaches, people who are already in optimal living, share a little bit in the chat, like what you experienced. How did you become healthy because of the choices you made and the guidance that you had with the tools that your coach and Optavia provides? Share that. And would anyone like to come off mute and share that had a dramatic story, especially our new clients who are in weight loss and struggling and trying and getting there? And I know what that's like. So I want to hear it. I want to hear it from you. Anyone want to share?
And it's important.
Oh, there's somebody. Yay, Missy. Go ahead, Missy. Come off mute and share.
Hi. So I just wanted to say, when I started, I was taking antidepressants and anxiety medication. And just from starting the journey, and I've only been doing this for 12 weeks and 33 pounds down, my sleeping has improved. I don't need to take melatonin anymore. And I am almost off of all of my antidepressants, probably from just being, happier, in a good mood. All my nasty gut receptors are just, leaving my body. So I just feel overall amazing. And I just can't wait to get off all of the medication. So it slowly worked, but now it's just been great.
Missy, thank you so much for sharing that. That's a beautiful testament to a journey starting. And I hope those who are brand new and learning and growing and in the weight loss phase are just learning from you, because that was huge to be able to share that. And those of us who, are living our healthy, we know this is a lifelong journey. This is going to take us to any age we are, like we talked about. Our oldest client that we love to celebrate is 79. Our youngest client is 24. And so it's a beautiful range that we have, but this all applies no matter what age we are, because we have to be ready for the changes in life, the changes that are going to affect us around us. Sheila, go ahead.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good.
Good. So yeah, let's see. I was overweight too. I never really took medication, but I think the biggest thing, and I say this all the time, is being busy. That's like the biggest, I think, for me, because it drives me crazy now, and it makes me sad how busy people are. And so it's really helped me to focus and be on time, and be more dependable. And of course, I feel better than I've ever felt in my whole life. I found my passion, which is body sculpting, and I've helped almost 100 people in 17 months. And so I think that is just like the biggest takeaway for me. And then sleep is something that I prioritize that I didn't before. So yeah, I best decision ever.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you for sharing that, for sure. And we're seeing in the chat too, like choosing healthy food and how to use exercise for mental health and to tone instead of burning off the bad foods, outrunning the fork, exercising like crazy, to fueling my body with what it needs 2 hours at a time, fueling our body with good, healthy nutrition. And Dr. Anderson had it perfectly made for us with our fuelings, right? The vitamins and minerals, the protein, the carbohydrates, the probiotics, the fiber, it's all there for us.
Yeah.
And choosing our lean and greens wisely, knowing how to choose those foods.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to emphasize too what Dr. Anderson says on 441 in that second to the last paragraph there. Optimal health isn't static. It looks different at age 20 than it does at age 80, and requires vigilance and constant adjustments to the changes your body undergoes as you mature. Yolanda and I were talking about that before we started this session. Even though right now, I got to admit, I feel I feel as good as I did when I was in my 20s and 30s, at least in my mind, in my mindset. I have the energy, I have the mind, the clear mind, just all the things going now that I felt like I had back then. But things do change as you age. And I, like Yolanda said, I turned 60 this year, and I play a lot of baseball and golf, and I want to continue doing those things, well into my 80s, and beyond if possible. So it's important to realize that being in our optimal health, it requires, change. It requires changes as we age. So we have to be constantly aware of the changes in our lives and what optimal health means as we age.
Right. So we talked about the first point, striving to optimal health, right? The second point we're going to talk about is, believe it or not, it's self-righteousness, and realizing that first and foremost, all healing comes from God. Okay, it does. But we have to take action in that. How are we going to do that, right? So the second point of self-righteousness is really about, how are we going to do that? How do we live that out loud? How do we share that with others? How are we going to explain that to others? Because these changes that are happening to us in a positive way, it is scientific, but we're not all scientists and we're not all doctors and we're not, so how do we do that? We have to live that out by showing and sharing and expressing like you guys are helping us today. So in understanding that, on page 442, let's see. Yeah, on page 442. So we talked already about, we use our feelings. Even today, Mike and I still use our feelings for nutrition and supplementation. Because of our age, we do add a fish oil and we do add extra probiotics just because of our age, okay? And that's been guided by our physicians. I went to my doctors and showed them the healthcare provider sheets that Dr. Anderson did for us. He did that for us to protect us, but also he is the specialist. So I want to hear from somebody else too on this respect. Like he says, in itself, we accomplish reaching a healthy weight once we get there, right? Healthy eating and nutrition, increased daily movement, better sleep, better energy habits, increasing your support and creating healthy surroundings like we are today in our community calls helps remove the toxins from our internal and external environments. All of that has a key part in reaching our optimal health.
Yeah. So yeah, it would be nice to hear from some people on, as they've been going through this journey, some of these areas, where are you seeing the benefits of the program and getting you to your optimal health?
Because of your nutrition. We see in the, well, we're waiting for hands to raise. We see in the chat, autoimmune was doused, got rid of that. Mindset shift, right? All these different things.
I know we talked a couple of weeks back. I think Rachel talked about healthy sleep and that section of the life book about sleep. To me, that was probably one of the things that hit me the hardest. I was not sleeping well, and how important sleep is. So if anybody wants to come off mute and just share some of those wins that they've had in this area.
Because medications do have side effects. They may be controlling the issue that we start them for, but the side effects are so much worse. It ruined my liver. I had an appointment with the transplant liver doctor here in Denver after I reached my optimal, you guys. And I was so upset, but come to find out in all of the understanding and the research and talking with nutrition support, my liver needed to clear itself out from the medication. Now my liver's good. Julie, go ahead, come off mute.
Well, congratulations on that. I did not know that, Yolanda. That is a huge praise, that your liver is good. Like I love to hear that because I've been thinking about you and all those things.
Thank you.
Sleep. I did not know that I was not getting the right amount of sleep or quality sleep until I decided to get healthy and really reduce the inflammation in my body. So when I started that journey of low glycemic eating and just really paying attention to, what I was putting in my body, the sleep, like just, I hadn't experienced that since before I had kids. So, and it just is so restorative. So you wake up earlier, you feel better. I can remember, like, Absolutely not. I'm never working out in the morning before 10 a.m. because I just could not get moving and get motivated. And now it's like, man, I'm at the gym at 6:15 a.m. And it is the way my clock is set now, but it's because we go to bed earlier, and I'm sleeping better. So all that to say, like, our program is so awesome that we don't just focus on one thing, weight loss, because the sleep feeds the weight loss, feeds all of the other areas of our life. And it is when our body has that most restorative healing time is when we're sleeping. And if you're not getting into deep REM sleep, your body is not healing itself through the night. And so I think it's really cool to take a look at that and know that just that one thing, everything that you're doing to get healthy is worth just that one thing, honestly, because it does so much for your body as a whole. So I definitely noticed the difference with the sleep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, thank you for saying that. And that's just an accurate description of what I was talking about. Like, this is the self-righteousness part of it, where we have to be humble enough to take care of our body, to respect our body, and to respect others by sharing it with them, right? In a loving way. We care about people. We learn to care about humanity because we care about ourselves first, taking care of ourselves, not in a selfish way or prideful way, but healthy, respectful way. So Mel, you had your hand up. Did you want to talk? Okay, go ahead, Monica.
Hey, everybody. So I have been on high blood pressure medicine since my daughter was born. She will be 31 in May. And when I started program, my primary care is aware that I'm doing this, but my cardiologist is not. But an interesting thing about my cardiologist, he never pushed weight loss. He always pushed healthy sleep and healthy mind, meditation, restorative breathing, those types of things. I have an appointment actually I have 3 appointments in April. I sleep with a CPAP. I have that appointment coming up. Guessing that's probably going away. I have blood work with my primary care, but I have a cardiologist appointment. He hasn't seen me I've been on program for about 7.5 months. He hasn't seen me since I started. So he is going to lose his mind. And I'm also certain that I'm coming off of that high blood pressure medication because I've been monitoring that. So I've had to self-unmedicate a little bit because it was too low.
I think that's a good point, because
Right.
Yolanda, you should probably mention about how yours actually dropped so low.
Yeah, so it can be dangerous. You're on those medications, and if you're not in communication with the primary and where they don't understand, we have to communicate, bug them. My blood pressure dropped too low. And so that was a point where we said, we're done, take me off. And she agreed. So funny fact about cardiology and your doctors, I was in my cardiologist's office and they have the big computer thing, or just commercial stuff, right? And what came on was myplate.gov, which is Dr. Anderson's design on the 9-inch plate. Instead of the food pyramid that we used to have in the old days, it's now myplate.gov, and it's a 9-inch plate with the quarters. And he walked in, I said, that's Dr. Anderson's. And I happened to have it printed when I came in to see him. So it was pretty cool. He couldn't deny that what I was doing and my health program was perfect for me. So
Mel.
take that. Mel, go ahead and talk.
Good morning. This is my first time sharing and my second go around with Optavia. And initially when I started, I would be asked the question of, don't you want to be healthy? But I did not feel that I wasn't healthy. I think I made a lot of excuses for the aches and pains. This is what happens through the natural progression of getting older. It wasn't until I had lost weight and then I abandoned ship, gained the weight back, and I started to feel it in my body. And I'm like, oh my goodness, is this what I was feeling all along? So I could compare the before and the after, and that really sealed the deal for me that I need to make the change. And so, that's what I wanted to share.
Oh, good for you.
That's
Thank
great.
you for sharing that, because again, you guys, it's being humble enough to go, okay, I have to do something. I have to do something, and I need the help. I need the guidance. There are so many people that we're finding, right? That we want to encourage, and we just want to guide and help and share. And so you all being here, your face being present is in itself a testimony, just being present. So yeah, way to go, everybody.
What Mel shared too gets back to mindset too, and the idea that as we become more aware of what we're putting in our body and how it makes us feel. You know, I know when I got on the program and I'm a big ice cream guy, and I was eating ice cream every night. And when I stopped all that and I started getting healthy, and 3 or 4 months into it, I thought, hey, I'm going to have some ice cream. And I had ice cream and I felt miserable. My stomach was upset. I just didn't feel right. So my mind now is telling me that is what's been causing me to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to make the choice to have ice cream, I know that I'm not going to feel at my optimal. I'm not going to feel my best.
Right.
So it's a choice. It's a choice I have to make if I want to, you know, do something like that in the future. So I've become more and more aware of my body and what the different foods that I put in it affect me.
Right. So yes, thank you for sharing that. And even in the chat, we see that, you know, again, releasing 72 pounds, you know, learning how to cook, learning how to measure your food, learning how to choose wisely. And that leads right into the next point. Anthony? Oh, Anthony, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mel. Wow. Well, I want to speak to that piece regarding self-righteousness in our health and the ramifications of being self-righteous in our acts. I come from a religious background. I'm a pastor, and so trusting God has been essential, the essential core of who I am and what I stand for. And because of that, I had men in general have a mistrust with hospitals and doctors and all of that. And so, I mean, if I could stay away, I wanted to stay away. I wanted nothing to do with them. I'm a little emotional about this because I caused a lot of my own medical issues that I'm dealing with today because of lifestyle, because of choices that I made. You know, a lot of us, we eat, and especially those from a religious background, it's like, oh, I'm praying over what I eat. And I've heard some of the outrageous prayers that we pray. Lord, take all of the calories out of the food. I mean, some outrageous stuff, right? And oh yeah, and then, you know, misunderstanding scripture when he says, you know, God created everything and everything is good to be eaten, but it doesn't mean that everything is good for you and for your body.
Right.
I didn't understand that. And so it ended up I ended up having a stroke because of high blood pressure. That was all because of my own bad behavior, you know. And there are a lot of people out there suffering right now because they don't realize that their body is going through what it's going through, and it's self-imposed. And you know, I'm thankful that I didn't have a major stroke, but it has left me with things that I don't desire and I don't like, you know, to remind me of what I did do. So I think it's important, you know, what we're doing is we are teaching people and sharing with people what Dr. Anderson has shared with us, how to treat our bodies and how to optimize our health. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for where I am right now and what I've learned and how it's changed my view of healthy eating. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Anthony, for sharing that. Very important. Rachel.
I just wanted to share, I grew up with a chiropractor for a grandfather. So he was always reminding us that your body feels everything you eat, you drink, everything you put in your body matters. And so conceptually, I agreed with him. I admired him. I wanted to be like him, but I didn't have a healthy enough mind to put things into practice that were good for me. And so I might do it for a little bit. Maybe I did it for 30 days, 45 days. I was the girl that loved a challenge because I knew it would keep me accountable for a small period of time. And I was honestly addicted to like short-term fixes. And if I wasn't doing that, I was trying to outrun my fork. And that was just my story before a program. And so as much as I love the knowing what to eat and knowing what to drink, I think a lot of people know and they can't do it because they don't have a healthy mind program. They don't have a habit reform program. They don't have a coach. And so I'm grateful for this community because I can't do it on my own. I couldn't do it on my own. And so I just wanted to share that all the things that we know, they only fit into about 5% of what we can do if we try to do it alone. But if you constantly create this consciousness that you guys are doing and that I'm doing with you because I still need to know it, I'm just really excited that most of you, if you're on this call, you're using the full program. And I am too, because I'm done knowing what to do and not doing it. And that is a behavioral problem. I had a behavioral problem. So put a 1 in the chat if you have a behavioral problem. Like, and we, right?
Sorry.
So that's my share is just knowing isn't enough. And I'm so thankful that we can walk it out together.
And I just wanted to celebrate Bradley Rudy in the chat. He's lost 72.2 pounds and working towards 100. And just hearing what he has to say in here. Thanks for sharing that with everybody. Everybody take a look at what Bradley's doing, and it's very encouraging. So, and we are all here for you in our community.
And that's what we need. Just like Rachel said, we're grateful for this. So in ending, we have a few closing statements to make, but read through this because Dr. Anderson does talk about, additional supplements if needed. So look that over. Know yourself. Like Anthony said, we know what we're capable of doing in healing our bodies. You are the dominant force of your health. Okay. So that's a beautiful way to end it. But I also wanted to remind everybody this Sunday, so tomorrow, we are going to just celebrate our mission, transforming lives, one healthy habit at a time. Okay, that's what we want. And so we're celebrating that this Sunday. You can get on, there's a Zoom call, Zoom webinar. You'll be seeing it in Nourished. We'll be making sure we put that in there for everybody to see. Share that with everyone you know. It is a Zoom webinar. We're going to talk about mind, body, well-being, everything, okay, just to inform everyone what we have to offer and what we want to do to save lives. Okay, so I encourage you all to check that out. It'll be in Nourished, like we said. You'll hear from your coaches, remind your clients, invite everyone. It's a beautiful thing. Dr. Anderson wants to change the world to health. Okay, our world is messed up. We see it, right? We see it. This is one positive way where we can connect and get away from all that and focus on our health.
But that only happens with each of us sharing, and,
right,
and telling others and living the example for others so that they can follow and come join us.
Yeah. So everyone have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you for all being here. Stay in touch. We'll see you next Saturday's book club where we'll finish up this chapter. Kristen Reyes will be finishing it for us. Thanks for